Well, Kevin and I have loaded up and we are evacuating for the hurricane. Hurricane Milton. Kitties are all kind of finding their spots. I have one that's crying right now, and he always does for the first half hour or so. Hoping to get out of Florida in a reasonable amount of time with plenty of gas. Well, we got the Jeep in the garage. We had to air down the tires to get it in here because of the opening of the garage is a little lower than when you first get it in there. Once we got it in there, we were able to air it back up. We are taking Kevin's Jeep. We're currently still south of Tampa. We haven't even gotten to Sarasota yet. The road is looking pretty good. I imagine once we get to Tampa, everything else going north will get more crowded. There are a lot of people in the southbound lane heading south still. I imagine they figure they can always cross to the other side of the state if they need to. Right now it's still forecasted to go to Tampa. We're going to get through Tampa before it does. But there's a good chance it could also turn south. So that's why we're doing this. Kevin is getting gas. We are now just north of Tampa. So we drove through the night. I'll tell you guys, the rest areas, they were full. Impossible.
It was bad.
The trucks were all just lined up on the ramps, and because we're in the RV, we needed, you know, the RV truck parking at those rest areas. And there was one rest area where not only were the parking spaces filled with the trucks, but the lane between the parking spaces, because there were two parallel rows of parking spaces, the lane between was filled with trucks, so that the ones that were sitting there couldn't even get out. So we just kept driving and kept driving. We even tried heading slightly south for a little bit to a rest area, thinking, well, no one's going to be heading into Florida, right?
Right.
Yeah, right. That didn't work.
Still just as full.
Yeah, and because there's a lot of trucks, I think, waiting to get into that area after the storm. So they were just sitting there. Anyway, we ended up sleeping for a little bit in a Sam's Club parking lot that was adjacent to a Walmart parking lot that was packed. I mean,
It's funny that the Walmart parking lot was packed, but the Sam's Club was not many people in it at all, and nobody bothered us. So
yeah, so that worked out pretty well. I didn't get much sleep, you know. I just, my mind was reeling, you know, and I was laying there thinking about some of the things we forgot when we left at the house and that sort of thing. But we did find a rest area with open parking spaces this morning just north of Tifton, and I managed to get a little bit of sleep. And Kevin took care of all the kitties and let me sleep, and so we're both fresh and ready to go again. We have campsite reservations tonight. We did get those for tonight and tomorrow night, just south of Atlanta. So we're pulling out of here, and I'll update you when we get there. Well, we're at camp now. We got in yesterday afternoon, and we were just so exhausted I didn't film. But when we got here, there was somebody in our site, and the office didn't know it. We checked in, we came down here and saw them here and was like, are you checking out? Because they should have been checked out already, you know.
Right.
And what did the guy say to you?
Well, it was the lady was sitting in her lawn chair, and she said, "No, we're not checking out." And I just mentioned we had the site for the day, and she was just kind of gave up. Well, I don't know, and then went back to laying down in her lawn chair. So Cindy called the rangers and then talked to them, and they basically said they'd call us back. And I think they called them, the people that were in the site, and their cell service wasn't very good, so they ended up coming to the site.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Turns out they had reserved this site, for 2 days, and were supposed to check out. But then they decided they wanted to stay another day, reserved another site, didn't like the site, so they decided to stay put in this site.
Right.
And they told them, no, you've got to go over to the site you have reserved. They didn't like that site because it's next to the playground.
Yeah.
So, I mean, come on.
Which has been a quiet park. There hasn't been any, loud kids or anything here,
Now,
so.
I've been here, this is my third time at
yeah.
this park. Kevin's second time. And the first time I was here, it was really loud. I was in a different area of the park, had a lot of kids and stuff. So yeah, but this time it's been quiet. I think it's mostly people right now from Florida.
Yeah.
That's what they said at the office. They said they've been scrambling to keep up with all the people coming in. But it all worked out. It's a nice site, and I'll show it to you. We spent most of last night just watching the news, tracking the storm. It had made a shift south for a bit. We were really worried.
Yeah.
And we were like, because that's what we were afraid it was going to do. That's why we decided to go ahead and evacuate. And we were watching, there's
Somebody's backing in.
Yeah.
Into their spot.
I see Kevin's like, but yeah, so it shifted back north again, and we got very fortunate.
Yep.
Down in Southwest Florida, they received a lot of storm surge.
Yeah.
In our part, down by Fort Myers Beach, got pretty flooded again, which it had been devastated after Ian.
Yeah.
And then it received some flooding with Helene, and now it's flooded again, and it's just a poor beach. But we're far enough inland, our house, that we don't think we had any damage. We're hoping not. We have cameras set up, and we left a porch light on, and we're able to, the cameras run off electric, so we know that electric's running still, porch light's running. We can see like the fence. Part of the fence we can't, right? That one side that's weak may be down.
Yeah.
But other than that, everything looked good. We had shuttered up all the windows, so all that should be good. The screens look good on the porches.
Yeah.
So I think we're probably fared pretty well.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be in a hurry to get back, because we know that right now a lot of people are on the road trying to get back to their homes.
So we're going to wait a day or two and then hopefully miss some of the traffic.
Yeah, there's going to be gas shortages and that sort of thing. People trying to get gas for their generators, because there are a lot of power outages.
Yeah.
So we're just hanging out, and today we're gonna try to make the most of it. But yeah, that's where we're at right now.
Yeah.
Oh, kitties are doing well. My little sunshine's watching them too.
Everybody watches the campers as they back in.
We're those people. All right, we're gonna go see what we can get into. This is High Falls State Park, just south of Atlanta. And like I said before, I've been here a couple times. Kevin, when he was with me, did not get a chance to see the river trail, which is a beautiful trail. At least it was the first time I came here, when I was able to go down it. But it had been damaged during another storm. And when he came with me to this park, he wasn't able to see it. So we're going to go check that out so he can see it. I have a video on this channel of my stay here at High Falls and when he was here. I'll link to both of them. You guys can check those out if you're ever interested in staying here, because it's a very convenient stop on your way through the Atlanta area from the south, because it's right off 75, just a short drive. So yeah, let's go explore. This river trail is located right across from the gatehouse, right across from the highway. Well, that's a little odd. I don't know how high this water got during the last flood. There's a boat here, a little raft. Nah, it doesn't look like it's been there that long. I don't know, it's strange. Let's go check this out.
Shouldn't he be in the water?
He knows where he needs to be. I just love this park. It is so beautiful, and I'm so glad they got this trail opened back up. It follows a little bit different path than before, so it's almost like seeing a new trail, which is nice, and I love seeing it through Kevin's eyes now. We're on the higher part of the trail now. You can see the water way down there. But we're probably gonna loop back around, not quite to the end of this. They give you kind of a cut where you can go back down to the water's edge, and we'll probably do that. So what do you think of this trail?
It's nice.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, and the weather's right, so it's fun.
A lot of roots.
Yeah.
Well, we are back on the road and headed back to Florida. We're just north of Macon right now, and it'd be nice to get there before dark, but because we have to stop often for the kitties and everything to be able to get their food and water and use their litter box and stuff, it'll probably be after dark by the time we get to our house. But yeah, we're gonna get back on the road, and I'll update you as we go.
So we stopped at a Love's, and I'm pumping some gas right now, filling up. The gas here is $2.55 a gallon, which is pretty good. We're in Georgia still, just south of Macon. And back home it's, I think, around $3.15 a gallon, so that's pretty good, only $2.55 a gallon. And the RV, towing the Jeep, gets about 6.5 to 7 miles to the gallon, so you know, every little bit we can save helps. It's a 70-gallon tank, so if we get it low, it takes a lot to fill it. The other bad thing is how long we are. I ended up taking up 2 pumps just to fit in here, but that's pretty much all we can do. I really like the Flying J's because they have the RV pumps, and those are nice. You can pull right in and fill up and then move on without blocking, you know, 2 pumps. But not a lot of those going from South Georgia into Fort Myers. I think there's 2 of them. We try to stop at those when we can. That or the Loves are the ones we try to stop at. But that's an update for now, and we're going to keep moving.
500 more miles to go. We're on our way.
Seeing a lot of power trucks going by us heading to Florida.
That's a good thing. A lot of people without power right now. We are in Florida and leaving the Florida Welcome Center after some lunch. All these signs got ripped apart. This is damage from Helene, the storm just prior to Hurricane Milton that came through the Big Bend area. There is a lot of damage that we're seeing still that needs to be cleaned up. Traffic is very backed up right now, and there's a lot of accidents on the road, which is not helping this situation. We've been sitting, what would you say, how far would you say we've gone in the last, say, half hour?
10 miles maybe.
10 miles maybe. And how long are they saying it's going to take still to get through this?
Hour and 14 minutes.
We're just going to be patient, and we're okay on gas.
Yep.
And we're going to just slowly move along. Well, we have been on the road for about 10 hours now. And we are at a rest area just south of Ocala.
Ocala.
Oh, Ocala. Kevin's always calling it Ocala because everybody else seems to, but it's actually pronounced Ocala. Yeah. It took us about three and a half hours just to get through the Gainesville, Ocala area. So, yeah, it's been a crawling pace. We're about to pull out of here. We wanted to give the kitties a little bit of a break, let them eat, and they usually hide when not all of them, but a couple of them hide when we're going down the road, so they are able to come out and look around. It's a long drive for them. Long drive for us. All right. We'll keep you posted. Well, we made it home. We got in late last night, and it was totally pitch dark, so we couldn't really examine much. We slept in the RV, and then this morning we were able to really look things over. Everything looks good. No damage to the house that we can see. And there's a little bit of fence damage in the back. But that's an area of the fence that was already weakened and in need of repairs. The landscape looks good. Yeah, you can't hardly tell there was a storm here.
Yeah, so the main reason we wanted to evacuate is because of the RV. We just didn't want it getting damaged. If something happened where we ended up getting hurricane force winds here, it could it could damage the RV. One of the
in your Jeep?
In my Jeep. But one of the people I work with told me a tornado hit somewhere in this area, not our area, but in Southwest Florida, and actually turned over an RV on top of a car. So that made us feel better about evacuating, because you never know where those things are going to hit, and it's better to be safe.
Do you remember in Ian, there was just a street over an RV. It was actually a pull behind that was on its side. And it looked like the roof had peeled off, and then it was on its side. And anyway, that ended up just being destroyed.
So that was our main concern. We didn't feel for our safety or the house or any, that the house would be damaged.
That's because we're so far inland that, you know, and our house is up to code enough that we usually, by the time it gets to us, the winds and everything have weakened. And so, you know, we feel pretty safe in our home. Plus we have this huge hedge around our house that kind of gives us a lot of wind protection too. When you turn on the news, you see how much damage happened on the coast. The storm surge was the main thing with this storm. It did a lot of damage to already damaged areas all along the Gulf Coast here. Fort Myers Beach was still trying to rise up from the damage of Hurricane Ian a couple years ago. We have electric and water and cell service here. There are other people in our area that are still without electric. And some people are under boil water notice. We haven't checked yet to see if we are. I kind of don't think we are because we ran the water and there was no air in there. I doubt we are, but we're gonna check before we drink it. You know, we see horrible reports on the news and we feel so fortunate ourselves. So now we have cleanup to do. Kevin already started this morning taking down some shutters, and we gotta unload the RV, get the kitties back in the house. They're gonna be so glad to be back home. I have more videos coming out from my most recent trip up north, and those will continue to come out on Saturdays. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys in a timely manner. Thanks for watching, and I hope everybody is safe who was in the path of this storm. And I will see you next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.
This guy. This is Radar. And watching the video back, he seemed to steal the show, didn't he? He's a good kitty.